welcome to the Bad Brothers podcast. I am not a brother. Hi, Will.
Hello. Nice to
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Officially meet you digitally.
It's funny because, like, listening to your podcast consistently, like, I feel like I know you as, like, a person a little bit, and you, like, have no clue who I am at all.
Yeah, you knew about, like, when I peed my pants and stuff like that.
Exactly. So I know some of your, like, most embarrassing moments.
Right. Yeah.
I'm just, like, a ghost.
Yeah, I thought about that because Will's friends are, like, the most, like, a lot of the people I know are people that Will knows, but a lot of the people that Will knows aren't really my friends. So I always think in my head, I'm like, what do they think about me, or how do they sort of perceive me?
Yeah.
What's your perception of Will?
Of Will?
Yeah.
Okay, for one, Michael, you have a good podcasting voice, but Will's podcasting voice, I think, is just, there's something about it that's just, it complements really well.
I thought you were
I
going
would
to say
say.
something
So that
bad
was
about
my
it.
first impression.
Oh, my voice is better?
I mean, I don't know if that scale exists.
I have a better face for radio.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I can picture you doing the in-between.
What's the difference between our voices? Because it sounds like my compliment was only just so you could get to Will's actual compliment.
No. Your voice isn't bad, but Michael, I feel like your voice is more like you're like, you know what you're talking, like you're planned. You know what I mean? Like you're kind of like, you're more assertive in the conversation. It's not a bad thing. But then Will compliments you with his undertones of just like, yeah, that's good.
Yeah. The color commentary.
I love that. I know what I'm doing, and he doesn't know.
But go with the flow.
But Will drop some of the meme language.
Yeah.
That
Meme knowledge.
that's pretty subtle, but it's good stuff. Yeah.
What is your...
Do we need to introduce who we're talking to?
Yeah.
Yes. This is Adam Dalessandri. He is not a famous person.
No.
He's not a
Not yet.
He's not a notable figure in history.
Nope.
He hasn't committed any notable crimes.
Nothing heinous. Nothing federal.
But he's a guy I met once.
Yeah, we met once.
Are you a bad
No,
brother?
but,
Are you a bad brother?
I'm part of the bad family.
Yeah.
That's for sure. I wouldn't call myself a bad brother. I think that title is reserved for the Port Orchard's finest.
Do you have siblings, though?
I do. I have a sister.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we're going to get to that.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
Adam lives in Phoenix.
Always skipping ahead.
Adam lives in Phoenix. Well, you say how you and I met. And give me your first impression of me then.
Of you? Okay. Michael and I met when I was 18. Was I? Yeah. I was trying to remember. I was 18. We
Luckily.
went on a Cambodia trip together, which Michael has referenced before. And our group all knew each other. And Michael, I think you were the only one who didn't know anybody, but you would go
Well, they were
consistently
from all
other groups.
one like Christian school.
Oh.
Yeah. So Michael, we had flown a leg to LA, and then from LA we were gonna go all the way to Cambodia. But Michael just met us in LA. So my first impression of you, actually, because you pulled up with the piercings and your hair, I think, was your hair long?
I don't think
Then?
so.
Was it bleached?
No.
blonde?
It wasn't.
Oh, it could have been.
I don't know. Like, you just seemed kind of like
Awesome.
a little quiet, not in a bad way. I was just like, who is this guy? And you're just like, yeah, I'm coming along with you. And that's like all you said to our group. And it was awesome. And so I didn't really know what to think of you. But then on the trip, you just seemed to know what you're doing. You'd been there a ton before. And then we kind of became friends.
Why do you think we vibed on that trip?
Honestly, I don't even know. I mean, I feel like I looked up to you a lot as like, because I was, younger guy, and you were like one of the first adults that I guess I had met who I felt like I could somewhat relate to, like as a person. But you're at a complete different stage of life than me.
Yeah.
So it was kind of weird because I felt like I'm like, oh, I could totally be friends with this guy. Like, but he's like,
Old.
like 15 years older than me almost.
Gross.
It was crazy because, like, for me, you had been there, 5 times at that point? 4?
Yeah, something like that.
4 or 5. So for me, it was like complete culture shock, and it was really eye opening to go to some place that's so vastly different from like our lives in the United States. So
Yeah, my impression was I also just felt like, yeah, I don't feel like I connect with that many people the way I think or whatever. And I don't know what it is about it. It's probably like a little bit just my personality. Like nobody's like me, but but also
Unicorn.
no, Adam, even, as a senior, wait, had you just graduated or you're going into your senior year?
I'm trying to remember because I'm a little old for my grade. So I was going to be a senior, but I would think I was 18. Yes, I was 18 because I had 2 birthdays. Remember?
Oh, yes. We left Hong Kong. It was your birthday. We arrived in the U.S.
Yeah, we crossed the international
Yes.
date line or whatever.
Yeah, so, yeah, we just kind of connected because we just thought alike on a bunch of things. Adam's a cool guy. He's smart. He's creative.
Aw. Thanks.
But he's also like a thoughtful person. Nice guy. He's going to be married
Oh yeah.
in a couple of months.
Oh, yeah. It's exciting stuff.
Yeah, so I wanted
You're
to...
supposed to say no offense when you say that.
Yeah. I wanted to... This is... So, a couple years ago, I went down, I bought a ticket, and Adam showed me around Phoenix. I had never been before. So, let me get to the sister thing. So, I go down there, and we're hanging out. We went to some museums. We went to some...
Golf.
No, it wasn't a museum. It was like an art exhibit thing. We went.
Yeah, it's like a museum thing.
We went to Top Golf. We went to
I love Top Golf.
a used bookstore, and we got some egg sandwiches.
Okay.
But one of the things we also did one night was go to this restaurant where I had a shrimp salad. Now, what I did was break a rule that says don't eat outside the cuisine of that area. So
yeah, seafood's really iffy in Phoenix as it is.
That would have been good to know because I had a shrimp salad and
For us, shrimp is like chicken,
Yeah.
fish and whatever. It's like, oh yeah, this was probably caught recently.
I
20 minutes
remember
ago.
it was good. I love a shrimp salad. I love anything shrimp.
Is that like lettuce and stuff with shrimp on it, or is it more like?
Yeah, it's like lettuce with shrimp on it, but it's like it's kind of like spicy and stuff. If it's shrimp in a salad, it's usually kind of southwestern, and where maybe it's just because it's Arizona or whatever. It was all spiced up and everything, and so I ate it. Not a big deal, and the waitress was nice, and that was it. We went home. Now, Adam's sister was gone. They were getting back from Montana or
Yeah, they were on a trip. My sister plays volleyball, so I think it was for that, like a tournament.
And so the deal was I was going to go to bed, and then sometime in the night, his mom and sister were going to get home. And so I hadn't met them, but I'm in the house, and I'm sleeping in the back bedroom. Now, here's the thing. The bedroom I was sleeping in is like old school. It's connected
By
with
the
a bathroom.
Oh, yeah.
But it's just a vanity. Her bedroom, it's like a U.
And
in the middle of
doors on it.
Yeah, doors on either side. And in the middle of that U is the toilet shower room.
With another door.
Enters into the hallway.
No doors.
There's no way in and no way out. And so, okay, so that's the setup. So at some time in that night, my stomach starts going wild. But not like, it is pain, but it's not like nausea or whatever. It is the most insane gas I have ever had in my life. Like somebody is blowing me up like a balloon, you know, and
Yeah.
no, they're doing the helium tank. That's how fast I'm filling up, because what happens is I start going to the bathroom, but I also get paranoid because I don't know when his sister's coming home. The bathroom is like right on the other side of the wall and everything, and I am blowing the bathroom up, not with smell, really, not with diarrhea,
Just volume of gas.
Both volume in quantity and in loudness.
Decibels.
Yes. It was just like it's one of those things where there's no way to get it quiet. It's just like I have to release it because it's so painful. But I must have been up like 10 times. I'm like, please stop, dear God, if you cause this gas to stop, I will never do anything bad. That kind of thing.
You're pleading.
And it was just like, so what I do sometime in the night
Quick question. Was there a lot of poop?
That's what I said. There was not a lot of poop.
It was just the gas.
It was
build
just
up.
gas. It was one of the strangest.
What time was it at this point? Like 3:30 in the morning or something?
All times.
Oh, all time.
And so at one point, I instead of going through vanity way, I'm like, the sister's going to be home sometime. What's your sister's name?
Zoe.
And so I'm like, I didn't know which way to go. Like, is she going to get home? I'm going to meet her in there, or whatever. I don't know. Did Adam do his due diligence and say that I was going to be there at all?
Yeah, I didn't tell him. They're just going to show up and some man is on their toilet.
So when I went to bed, her door was like open a little bit. So, she's not there. And I go and like check her door one time. I'm like, it's still open. I'm like, okay, she's not hearing me. And I think they had already got delayed a day. I think that, or like half a day or something like that. And they were supposed to be there. So in my mind, I'm like, oh, maybe they got delayed even more or whatever. So I'm doing this all night long. I'm like so embarrassed. It's hard for me to get embarrassed, but this was just so loud and so often. It was just like, it was so crazy. And I get up in the morning and I see Adam's mom in the kitchen and everything. He's like, hey, nice to see you and meet you, whatever. She was nice. She was running off to do whatever, And I was like, oh, when did you get back? And whatever time it was like a half an hour after we had gone to bed. And I'm like, wait, they've been there all night? Like, I almost had a thought, like, when I was going to look in her room, like, I need to see if she's there because this gas is like so insane. So her first meeting of me could have been like me, like
poking your head in,
me looking into this high school girl's room, like, Adam, your friend. So that was just crazy. And I'm like,
a wild time.
I still think about it all the time.
Did you ask her about it the next day?
She never got out of bed.
She's a very heavy sleeper. Thankfully, which I mean, I don't know if I've ever directly asked her, like, hey, did you hear Michael just going?
Did you hear that Harley starting up in the bathroom?
Yeah, it was insane. Do you have any what's your memory of me from our Cambodia trip besides me just being like quiet when I first got there?
The whole time we were there, like, there was a while I felt like super out of my comfort zone. And you were just like, you looked like you'd done this 1,000 times. So I was like, I want to stay close to this guy. And then we just kind of, I don't know. I remember watching Face Off in your room. And I was like, and then we rode elephants together. And you're just a lot of fun to hang out with. I was like, this guy's a good dude. And it was someone like at the time, speaking of family, thus the pod, like I think I had issues more so with my dad. And so I would get worried that I'm like, oh, that's going to be me or something. But then I felt like I actually was like, this is someone who I feel like I relate to and that I'm somewhat like in some ways, not completely, but I'm like, he's a great guy. And I feel like I can really emulate that. And I also thought you're still kind of not young at heart. Like you're really mature, obviously, but
Obviously.
I was like, I feel like you laugh a lot at stuff. You have a lot of fun with even dumb stuff like like the fart story. It's just like stuff like that. And so I'm like, oh man, you can still grow up and, kind of not be the same, but you can still have a good sense of humor and relate to people who pretty much in any age direction of you.
Yeah.
And how much did my brother Venmo you before this video started? To say
Around
all these things?
$200. Nothing crazy, but
I'm just kidding.
But yeah, thank you guys for having me on. It's an honor to be on Port Orchard's Finest.
It's not an honor, but
You're guest number
you're
one.
on it.
I know. I didn't even have to send in a resume. I was like, wow, I'm special.
Oh, yeah. Everybody else listening, if you want to be on the podcast, you have to send a resume to be the second. Should there be a cover letter? Should there be whatever? I mean, be creative with it, but send an email, badbrotherspod@gmail.com. Oh, I forgot to check if we got an email.
A funny video. Watch, we have like 14 of them in there.
14,000, more like.
I had a question for Will.
Yes. And I have a question for you.
Okay, I'll take a break. I'll have more jalapeno goat cheese bacon things.
Go ahead.
I wanted to ask how jiu-jitsu is going because I like to hear your jiu-jitsu updates.
Oh yeah, it's going good. I signed up for competition August 1st. I was supposed to have my first competition May of 2020, and so it got canceled because of COVID. And that was when I was a white belt. But
You're a blue belt now, right?
Yeah, and I had like a few stripes, and I was like on my way to blue. But so now I'm like a blue belt with no stripes, like the lowest blue belt, and so I'm like a little more nervous because then I'm with like better people, and also this competition for whatever reason, like they do like the weight classes like in wrestling or whatever, it's like
Right.
155, 165. Well, it goes up to 185, and then it just says 185 plus, and I'm 205, so it could be like really good for me against some like 185 guy, or it could be against some 285 guy. So.
Right. Doing jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, so it could go either way, but so I'm really excited about that. So that's like 6 weeks away or 5 weeks away, and so I'm trying to hit that hard.
I'm kind of worried about him, though.
What are you worried about?
You're worried?
Well, he couldn't even take me when we were on vacation.
Did you guys get into it pretty good?
No.
It wasn't a full-on sparring match?
Well, I just controlled him the whole time. That's why it wasn't a full-on.
Sure.
He couldn't move on me.
Yeah.
We had to like pause, and I had to like get in between his whatever, just so he give him like a fair shot at trying to do something to me.
Mm. Right.
If that's how you feel, come to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
I got a rug burn on my foot.
You got a rug burn.
I still got a big scab there.
Oh yeah.
Gotta be careful of those injuries.
I got burns on my toes and hands and whatever from the mats and whatnot. Mm-hmm. But no, we can. How many? What was your heart rate during that? And breaths per minute? Because mine was pretty low.
Mine was low.
It was fun. It would be fun to go on the mats.
I was definitely just worried about coffee table.
I was
TV.
I was like not moving a lot. But no, it's been tons of fun, and like I've said on here before, like those guys there too are like become like my family. So it's been like an awesome part of my life the last few years.
Awesome. How long have you done it?
It's like 3 years, but the first year was really like on and off.
Sure.
And it was really like 2019 when I really was going regularly. And then during this like when I was off work and stuff, I was going like 5 days a week. So that was fun.
Yeah, Michael, you got to get on the mat. You're next. Official sparring.
Do you have any?
It wouldn't be a fair fight.
We can film it. Content.
You can upload that alongside your first videotaped podcast.
Yeah. We'll put it on the Patreon.
Oh, perfect.
That doesn't exist.
We can do it. We can do it Greco-Roman style, and then we can put it on OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Olympics, Greek Olympic style.
There you go. Lots of options.
One of the things now, we talked about this like a couple we've been trying to have Adam on the pod for like 6 months or something. Mm-hmm. And one of the things I remember, and I don't know why this is such a strong memory for me, but I even remember like where in Cambodia we were walking when we were talking about this, but I still wanted to ask you because mostly because I need to get it out of my system, and that's Chris Tomlin. Now, for those who don't know about Chris Tomlin or whatever, he is a worship music writer, megastar, rich, and
extremely.
And for a while, he had one album where literally every song on it was like all the songs every church sang from week to week. That album, if you look at the track list from that,
like Taylor Swift.
Indescribable or something like that, I mean, the track list from it is just crazy. And so there's a couple knocks on Chris Tomlin. One of the major ones is that he like adds these modern choruses to old hymns. Hymns that are like the ones that people like, the ones that are like perfect, like Amazing Grace or whatever. Then he'll add like the
Battle Hymn of the Republic.
He adds like a 2020 chorus to it, and then it's got like a beat and everything. And you're like, it was fine to do that.
Sure.
So that's like
it's like a Christian worship remix.
Yeah, that's one of the main ones. And Adam is a good musician. Yes, he is.
What do you do? Guitar?
Me, yeah. I play guitar, little piano.
Yeah, you can sing.
Yeah. I can sing. I haven't sang in a while.
But he's like creative. Like if you saw his room, he has one of those like creative people rooms where it's like, where everything's like quirky, but it sort of works because it goes together. But you're like, does this go together because it actually goes together, or does it go together because you know who the person is? And it's really the second one.
Yeah.
And Adam is that kind of like interesting person, kind of.
Have my little knickknacks all over the place.
He has his little record player that plays the Beatles on and stuff like that.
My room was knickknacks and stuff.
Mine was mostly patty wax.
You were just patty whacking in your room.
My room was filled with patty wax.
Tons of patty wax.
Anyway, Tomlin.
But one of the other things about Chris Tomlin is and it's the thing that, what's your impression of him? And I'll get to the number one thing that bugs me about him.
I don't knock a lot of Christian artists. I do agree with you though. Like a lot of Chris Tomlin stuff is just like either remixed of old hymns or everything is in the exact same key with like nearly the exact same progression of chords. So his newer songs still sound like nearly every other song.
Yes.
It's just, a lot of the same.
But it's sort of why they get popular because it's like familiar. It's just like pop music. It's like
pop music, but just Christian music.
My big frustration with Chris Tomlin is his use of metaphors in songs. Like I love when a song has a strong metaphor, like a strong theme or whatever. I love a metaphor song, or like an artistic song that's.
Allegory.
But
Yeah.
Chris Tomlin, he'll have like. So this is what he does. He'll do like, your love is like an ocean,
Mm-hmm.
But then he'll be like, your love is like a river. It keeps going. It's like, your love is like a waterfall.
Oh, yeah.
Your love is like a babbling brook.
You know who does that a lot? Lil Wayne.
Your love is like a kitchen sink where I wash my hands.
Just say like nothing that rhymes, and then just like
Your love is like a muddy aquifer on native lands. It's just
That's a quote.
it's just like, can you pick? Are you just picking everything that has water in it? Like
It is water. It's the focus on the water that I think I really don't understand.
it's like, just do an ocean song. You could do a whole album of the water album, but do an ocean song, do a river song,
Oh yeah.
do a kitchen sink,
Concept album.
and it's just like, it's too. The songwriting is just so
Your love
bad.
is like 70% of the human body.
Exactly. It's too crazy for me.
Yeah, it's a lot of the very. It's just a lot. It's similar, but also when you think about it and you start, like, if you're just humming the words to yourself, you're like, does that make sense or not? Because it's just metaphor after metaphor, and pretty soon you're like, I don't.
Yeah.
There's no
does it just
concrete
rhyme?
idea.
Yeah, it's like, if your song is going to be that basic, it better be solid lyrically or something. It better come through, or else you listen to it and it's just like, you just think the most minimum effort possible
Yeah.
went into that song.
Yeah, and not to knock the guy. Like, obviously he's
100% to knock
successful. However,
the guy. 100.
Come on.
Think he has ghostwriters?
No, he doesn't, because I listened to interviews with him.
And he would
He does
never
not.
tell a lie.
do you think ghostwriters are rampant throughout the Christian music industry?
Yes.
Yeah.
That'd be
Well,
interesting.
But I don't know. It's just actually.
Yeah, that's a weird one because then it's argued, oh, it's not just for the, they're like, oh, this is from my heart. They're the performer kind of like. I don't know.
But also, songwriters can have gigantic careers, never being a
Right.
artist. Like a singing
exactly.
artist. You can be super popular, writing great songs.
It's like that. Well, this guy ended up being
So
super
why would you
popular,
ghostwrite?
but he actually writes a bunch of other stuff. Mike Posner. He's like his like hits that he's written on way outnumber his own hits, like by 10.
That Benny Blanco, he was a producer writer, and now he's doing more stuff. That Julia Michaels, she did a lot. That All About That Bass Girl, who I don't really like, but some people just know how to write a song.
Are you still on the Puth Train? Charlie
Oh,
Puth.
always on the Puth
Waiting
train.
for that new album to drop.
Always on the. Oh wait, it comes out tomorrow or next week?
Oh, I don't know.
I thought it's coming out soon.
I thought it's soon. It's supposed to be soon.
Be on the lookout.
Have you heard?
I don't know what you're going to say right now.
Who's your other favorite person that you've seen live? That
Lorde.
hasn't released an album in 3+ years.
She's releasing? When?
You haven't seen?
No.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
big news.
I'm going to have to Google right now.
Our Lord and Savior has returned. But be prepared for the album art. Make sure you have your child search off.
Why?
Because it's...
Oh, the art's out?
Yeah, it's a little risque. I'm trying to... Yep.
Solar power.
Solar power, yep. With a up
Causing chaos.
upshot.
I want to say upskirt, but there's no skirt. There's just. Is that.
Oh,
We're all backsliding right now.
This says new single, not new album.
Well, what else has she released?
You got me excited. Tammy says
oh
that.
man, that is a graphic shot. Oh my god, that is wild.
I read
Is that her,
I
though?
read album.
It looks like her.
I guess it's like a play on an old album cover from the 60s or 70s or something.
I don't think they did that in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah, I think it was more.
That was a Beach Boys cover album.
Yeah.
She's remaking it.
Brian Williams. Speaking of songwriters.
Yeah, well, I still get emails from that art exhibit place. What was that called that we went to?
Spacing on Wonder Spaces.
Yeah,
Wonder Spaces.
Yeah, so they have this. Oh, I remember the other thing I was going to ask you. So at their mall down there, at the Scottsdale Mall,
Fashion Square, yeah.
I've heard of it.
it's where
It's big.
Yeah.
it's where Jake Paul didn't he like have some?
Oh,
He
yeah.
like, had some alcohol and was like, it was like when Black Lives Matter and they were just like, they stole some stuff and whatever.
apparently he joined the riots at Fashion Square, and we really didn't have many riots here. There was only a few.
Yeah.
But during the BLM stuff going on, he, I guess, just was putting on his Instagram story. He was just randomly in Scottsdale robbing the Fashion Square.
Jeez.
There's a bunch of rich, but there's a bunch of rich people there in that
So
area.
many.
Yeah,
So
I've
many.
heard that. Yeah, it's pretty a swanky. That
Yeah,
Fashion Square.
We went into
Swank.
Gucci when we were there,
And I spent every dime I've ever made.
but there was something
sweet.
else I wanted to ask you about because my other connection, one of the things we did when we were down there is I had Adam drive me by Mark Driscoll's church because
Yes.
I sort of got obsessed with the Mark Driscoll news when he was up here and he had his church and he was calling women penis homes and he was going by William Wallace too online and saying, men needed to blah, 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 blah. And he was just crazy and spending his church's money to get him on the New York Times list and lying about, where money was going. And then he moved down to Arizona saying helicopters and people were after him and his kids, which was crazy. He's like pathological liar person. And so now he's...
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
now he's in Arizona and he's like rebranded as outgoing dad guy, family man.
Yeah.
And he has a whole like sort of ethos because when he was up here, they used to call him the cussing pastor.
Yeah.
And he was like, men, you need to man up. You are pieces of garbage. But he would use like colorful language to
Expletives.
to say how bad of people guys are.
Yeah.
And now he's
Men
more
are
like,
trash.
now he's more like thoughtful but stern father figure.
For sure. And I knew him in a weird kind of way because being born and raised in Phoenix, I didn't know about Mars Hill. It was Mars Hill, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was his old. Yeah. So, and apparently you guys had like 15 locations up there or something?
Yeah.
In the Pacific Northwest. But see, I didn't like even know who he was. So it was weird hearing like your perspective of him because I actually went to school and I'm not really friends with him anymore as much, but I went to high school with one of his sons. So I met him in like a personal capacity before I ever knew who he was. So it was interesting, like you coming down because he kind of lived a different life, or so it seems, up in Washington. But he really has like completely rebranded here, and I think they're developing new properties actually.
But also lately, and I was gonna watch the YouTube video because the kid came out, but there was a story about some kid was gonna like date his daughter, and they kissed or something like that. And
Mark and the guy.
Big controversy.
to try, Mark Driscoll kissed the kid so that he could test out whether he would be good enough. No. So, but they like brought him in first. Like the youth pastor like brings him in, locks the door, dresses him down. Like, you got to be the man. You got to do whatever. You better watch your back and all this stuff. and then somebody found out or something that they kissed or I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden his family was barred from the property.
Oh, geez.
Mark Driscoll like texted the kid from the daughter's phone, like, don't do that. And the like all the people that they were friends, the family was friends with
That went to the church.
that go to the church, they're like, we can't talk to you anymore, and all this stuff, just like instantly.
Sounding very Mormon.
It is, and it's exactly all the same stuff that was happening at Mars Hill, where it was just like if you weren't completely aligned with it, there was this weird web of like in or out, and they would have to, like you would be on like security's list, and then one of the dad was saying, or some of the interviews that have come out now, and security people, he has like a trust ranking for people, and then this dad of the kid got put on like the security, like get off the campus, and they called the police on the dad and all this stuff.
That's crazy.
Just because
That's not good. Yeah.
just because like two teenagers are just doing like normal teenager stuff is like,
Yeah. It's sounding very like cultish.
yeah, it's so crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly, like, I don't know a ton about the guy. Like, I was buddies with his son, and I think the girl, because he has an older daughter, which I'm guessing that that's not the one that had the boyfriend, because she's like in her mid-20s. So that would be a very odd reaction to do. But I think his younger daughter is also like over 18. And I mean, that's wild though. I had no idea about any of that. All I know is their church is expanding.
Yeah,
like
people.
crazy.
That's what's crazy is like people love him.
Well, yeah, down here also we're a very red state. So, everyone who's been fed up with the mask thing or the vax thing or, any of the COVID stuff, Mark has been like, it doesn't matter, and we're going to do what we want because this is a time to rise up. And I'm like, oh, well. So a lot of people like him for that reason, because he's seen as like that, I guess, more Trump personality, to where he's like very vocal about what he believes, and it kind of goes against the norm right now, I guess.
Have you started going back to work more and stuff like that now that?
Yes, we've been open for we've been open a long time, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like because all our businesses were only really shut down for like, what's that?
What kind of work is it?
During the beginning of the pandemic, I'm doing accounting for bars. So they got shut down like immediately for like
that's
4 or 5 months.
Right.
There's so much like tourist economy or sort of like outdoor economy that, I mean, if you work at a bar or something, which so many people do, or a restaurant, whatever.
But they let people back pretty quickly. I mean, by like August, by like fall of this last year, like they pretty much opened everything, at least if you're wearing a mask. And so like food service people were able to go back. And I mean, it still hit us pretty hard, but we haven't been as locked down. I think our COVID levels or bubble is decreased significantly, and then our governor doesn't seem to care. So he's like, yeah, do whatever.
Yeah.
But you don't want to be getting married and not have a job. But actually, I shouldn't be saying that because that's not true, because I got married and I didn't really have a job. I was still going to school. You'll still be going to school.
Yeah. Still be going to school.
You'll be in your senior year.
Yeah, things are looking good. But
I got a question for you. So how old are you?
I am 21. Almost 22.
So this was referenced many episodes ago about what did we call it? The Instagram, you refresh, delete everything off Instagram.
Okay, that was one of my big takeaways from your specific trip to Cambodia. All these people from your trip, it was like a thing. You just delete all your pictures off your Instagram and like start over.
So my question is, Why should someone start over on Instagram? Because mine goes back to like 2012.
I don't think there's any like reason to or not to.
What were the pros and cons?
I think
For
I
me,
deleted mine after that trip. 17. It was probably when we went.
I think for me, it was mostly about like wiping just kind of wiping the slate clean. And also I like to have I like those pages on Instagram that are really organized. Or like, have you seen that one guy? I forget his name. Micah Not Found.
The aesthetic of it.
Yeah, there's a.
Sorry, who was the person you referenced?
Micah Not Found. I don't know if he's still super active, but I found him like in high school, and he does art, but he like coordinated all of his different pictures to be like one full straight image, and like obviously that was like extremely difficult.
That's
but
crazy.
Whoa, it just keeps going.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's like a continuous, like the theme kind of changes, but it's like a continuous art piece from like keep scrolling through it.
I guess that's cool, but
and I started because a lot of people were just posting about themselves.
Yeah,
if that's your thing, like he's obviously some sort of artist, like it's a good
some sort
way to do it.
Don't disparage him like
for
that.
me,
some sort of just say an artist.
I just meant like
but
digital.
Like for me,
sorry, go Adam.
No, sorry, it's hard for me to hear just because it's lagging. I don't mean to keep interrupting.
No, it's good.
But yeah, I don't know. I saw that and I was like, I like the idea of having an Instagram because I don't really care. Like if I go somewhere, like I don't feel like I have to post about it just because I don't feel like anyone really cares. So I kind of try to use my Instagram as like a kind of like a hobby.
Yeah.
Like now I wiped it and it's just a picture of me and my fiance when we got engaged. And then the rest is just books that I've been reading. I do little reviews of them. And that's more fun for me than just being like, I went to the zoo.
Yeah. I mostly just now do my stories if it's just like something that I think's like cool or whatever, or pictures. Sometimes I do like artsy pictures, mostly funny stuff, I feel like. But then my actual posts are like 6 months apart, you know.
Right.
When I feel like I actually have something post-worthy. Then Michael does his monthly dumps.
See, I also think I saw yours because you've been doing that for a while, right? At least where you had the monthly overview.
He was inspired by
17.
Yeah. And I like that because I'm like, it just looks organized, and I feel like it's something that you wanted to do, kind of just because you thought it looked nice, and it's also something to look back on for yourself.
Yeah, and for me, it is a little bit sort of like it's not artistic. It's just like it, but it is kind of cool in a way. But for me, it also like saves me from like if I'm doing something to think like, oh, I got to put this on Instagram or I got to whatever.
Yeah,
it's just more like it's more just like I'll take pictures for me, and if I take 2 pictures in the month, then I take 2 pictures in the month. You know, and then that's it. And I'll post that. Or if I have 10 pictures I want to share, I'll share 10. But
yeah,
that way I'm not like taking time away or checking out from whatever event I'm doing or thinking about what needs to go on the internet. So I can just be in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing I did to kind of keep it fresh for me is delete all the pictures of my ex-wife.
That updates it, yeah. Keeps it fresh.
I'm just kidding. That was I don't try to hide that part of my life, but it's just.
Oh no, I keep up with the pod. I love it.
Not
the little random,
not necessary anymore.
Well, yeah, that's another thing too. It's like I don't know. It's kind of cringy for me to look back at myself sometimes in high school, like with anybody. So it's like, oh, that's not there. So kind of just
like like Instagram was so different when I first got on it in 2012.
I feel like if you do Instagram, you just gotta I get stressed about it because like if I second guess, like if I post something, I'm like, who does someone think that's stupid?
Oh yeah,
or nobody cares about that. So why am I posting it? I just have like weird thoughts about it. So I don't think there's any right way to do it. It's just kind of like I'd use it as something that I can look back on for a specific reason and be like,
Yeah.
oh,
I'm
that's a
usually
good
like all the way
memory.
the opposite. Like I don't care what people, probably too much the other way.
It's a good
or
way to be.
something. Yeah. It has its pros and cons too, but
Yeah.
I think that's why I just post on my stories. I'm just like, oh, I think this is funny, or someone might think this is cool, or I like the act of actually like taking the picture and editing like the highs and lows and saturation and whatnot. I like doing that, so it's just fun.
I like that story. I think it was on the Bad Brothers Instagram page too that you shared. It was like you and Michael at dinner before the comedy show.
Oh, yeah.
Michael, your face. Your eyes look like they're poking out of your head.
Yeah.
My favorite thing lately was I was laughing about it yesterday. Was sharing your seat number on our flights.
yeah.
I don't know why that made me laugh so much.
Sharing your seat numbers.
Yeah, he's like, I felt like I got doxxed.
Here's Will in 22E
Yeah,
or whatever.
that was funny.
That was funny.
Was it a
All
good
right.
trip?
That was a good trip.
Yeah.
We need to talk. We already talked about it last week on the episode. Wink, wink.
You touched on it.
We haven't.
Then you talk about
we're
dog
about
shows.
we're about to record it right now, but it's
Oh,
backwards.
that's right.
We're doing backwards in time. You'll be in 2
I forgot
weeks.
the back to back.
We're time
Yeah.
travel. We're time traveling.
Yeah, we're
right
time
now.
traveling.
Ah, I like that.
So tell everyone how
Well,
good
how
the
it works.
episode was.
It was phenomenal.
What was your
Phenomenal
favorite?
episode.
What was your favorite part?
Yeah, what was your favorite part about us in Memphis?
My favorite part is that picture where it says Memphis right behind you, and it's like a panned up picture. That was my favorite part of your trip.
Yep, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
That was a good part of the episode.
That moment.
All right. Well, it's good to talk to you, Adam.
Yeah.
You too. Thank you guys for having me on.
I feel like I need to
feel
come to
blessed
Arizona
and
now.
honored. No, you don't. Gotta run.
No, just to visit. I got to go to
Oh yeah.
Fashion
There's a
Square
move
and
here.
Top Golf.
Yeah, going
Oh,
to
yeah.
Top Golf was awesome.
I'm trying to come to Forks, so my fiance really wants. She likes Twilight, so she really wants to come visit. So I'm
Gee.
gonna drive through.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, come on through.
Come on through it. Yeah, I got to talk to you because I don't think I'll be able to come down for your wedding. I've been trying to figure out how to, but
It's totally okay. It's kind of a drive once you get here too, so
that's the complicated part. But,
not a big deal.
but yeah, I'll talk to you about coming down sometime again. That'd be cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah, let
Sooner-
us know.
sooner
Let
rather
us
than
know when
later.
you're coming up. That'd be fun.
Yeah, we want to do it soon. So I'll let you guys know as well. But thank you for having me. I feel like a true member of the Bad family.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Now I have to ask everybody this, but you have to rank yourself from 1 to 10. Are you a good brother or a bad brother?
Okay, I think I was a mid-tier brother, a 5 throughout my high school years, and I think now I'm a 8. I'm a
Ooh,
good brother.
8.
I think
Nice.
I try.
And what would
I've
your
tried to see the faults and improve.
And what would your sister rank you as?
0. No, I'm just kidding. She'd probably rank me an 8. She's cool. We get along.
That's good. Well,
Bad family.
I'm glad I got to meet you on here. This was fun.
Me as well. It is really weird talking because, like, I mean, yeah, like I've heard all your stories and I've heard your voice like 1,000 times. So it's
Yeah.
funny to meet you in person.
That's what my friends say
over the phone.
about Michael. They haven't seen. Well, they like see a picture of him. They're like, "That's not what I thought he looked like." Based off
Yeah.
of the voice.
Totally.
I look crazy right now. All right.
All right, guys.
I'll text you when we get done. Here.
We'll recap.
Cool.
All
All right.
right.
Sounds good. Thank you guys.
Thanks,
Nice,
Adam.
Nice to meet you.
Bye, everybody.
See ya.
Bye, listeners. Bye.
This is our wrap up. Don't take a bite. This is our wrap up.
I can take bites now. ASMR.
We definitely have a lot of drink noises and eating noises and everything. When we're drinking something with carbonation, taking
Yeah.
little pauses to.
But people say they like that. They like to gauge. They like to count how many we open.
Drinking game. How many off mic burps?
Oh yeah,
are included in it.
gurglings. Whenever they hear us crack one, they crack one. It's like they feel connected.
Last week, I hope you like when I cracked one right at the beginning of the episode.
Well,
Wink, wink. See, See what I did there?
And then before that, I choked as I was talking. Before that, you got the bottles, so it didn't have the same.
Oh yeah,
crack.
All right. Thanks everybody for listening. Thanks for listening to Adam. Go follow him, Sad Radish with an extra H on Insta-G.
Go read his book reviews and look at his wife who likes Twilight.
Follow Fiance, Bad Brothers Pod, Instagram. He's his MDB, YouTube.
Send your resumes to badbrotherspod@gmail.com.
Yes. Now that Adam is the first guest, you can send your resume to
hiring.
badbrotherspod@gmail.com to be the second guest, if that's something you want to do.
Remember when we were talking about...
It can be as short or as long. You can be creative. It can be professional. Be whatever you want to.
Remember when we were talking about having a third person?
Yeah.
Adam would be a good third person.
All right. Thank you. Next week, something special.
Yeah.
1 year.
Crazy.